phone's on vibrate?
No. Yep.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the February 6th Board of County Commissioners meeting. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, first thing we have on our agenda are minutes. Gentlemen, do you have any additions or corrections from last week?
I do not.
Okay.
I move to approve the proceedings of the Board of County Commissioners for Montezuma County for January 30th, 2024 as presented.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the proceedings of the Board of Commissioners, Montezuma County, January 30th, 2024. Is there any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we have no planning today, so we're going to go right into public comment. The Board of Montezuma County Commissioners welcomes you to this meeting. Person speaking during public comment will be limited to 3 minutes, or depending on the number of people wishing to speak, it may be reduced to allow all the members of the public the opportunity to address the board. When addressing the board, please state your name and address for the record prior to providing your comments, and comments to individual supervisors or staff are not permitted, and participants may not yield their time to others. With that, the public comment session is open.
Otis Sykes, 19250 County Road 15, Yellow Jacket. I just wanted to say that when I came in here last, I asked for some answers and stuff, and Jim was good enough to call me back. I appreciate that. Appreciate you calling me. And if any of y'all come up with any of the other the questions about federal or state, any funding going toward illegals or anything, I'd appreciate y'all getting a hold of me if you know anything about that. And but I really do appreciate you getting back to me. I thought that was really good of you. So thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Next.
Good morning, Commissioners. Melanie Feilner, 19278 County Road W, or 21439 Road U. I'm mainly here to ask that if you haven't already, that you would please try to watch that CD, that video that was given to you, Let My People Go. We are in the process of trying to establish a hand count to go alongside the machines, and I think it's going to be it'll be critical that you would watch that video, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Next. Okay. Seeing no others, we'll close the public comment session of this meeting, and we will move right on to our unfinished business. We had a quite lengthy workshop yesterday with a lot of issues to discuss or to talk about today. It started with a decision or discussion regarding increasing stop signs at Road P and 25. We were going to wait for further information from our Road and Bridge Department before we put that back on our agenda, and or if we were going to set a public hearing at that point in time. So I don't think any decision, if I'm correct, Commissioners, will be made today on that?
No.
Okay. So we will go by that. We'll be waiting for more information.
Does he have more information now, or?
No, not now. Now, we'll wait for those traffic counts and then we'll get back with you. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So we'll just wait for that information, and then we can get it back on our agenda at that point in time. We also had a discussion as it's pertaining to our Noxious Weed Plan, and that was discussed yesterday. It was decided to send this over to the Advisory Committee of the Noxious Weed. The acting department head does have this in her possession now. She will send this to the Advisory Committee, let them discuss it, and then they will get back to us with their recommendations. So no decision as far as that today. We did yesterday have a battle grant for 2025 that was brought forth the second time to us. The numbers were changed in there for the overtime as it relates to stolen vehicles in Montezuma County, La Plata County, and it's a cooperative services between La Plata County, Montezuma County, and also the Colorado State Patrol. That battle grant is in the amount of $17,587.80. Gentlemen, do you have any questions on that?
No, I do.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I move to approve this Montezuma County grant application for the battle grant in the amount of $17,587.80.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the Montezuma grant application submission form for the battle grant in the amount of $17,587.80. Is there any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. We also had a discussion for the CDOT Faster Grant, which was, I think, was originally submitted, or we started talking about this, I think, way back in 2020. This is for the funding of another bus for MoCo. This grant with the state of Colorado is in the amount of $81,364. Any further discussion?
No.
Okay.
I move to approve this Montezuma County grant application submission form for the MoCo transportation. The grants to be submitted to the faster vehicle grant. This, what did you say, it was a 12-passenger van?
I think it was 9 to 12.
9?
Yeah.
Okay. In the amount of $81,364.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept with the state of Colorado CDOT and the Montezuma County for a faster grant in the amount of $81,364 for the van or bus for MoCo. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Yeah, aye. Go back to that one. Okay, I'm going to jump back up because I skipped one. We also had a discussion yesterday for the Edward Barn Memorial Justice Assistance Grant. This grant is the amount of $307,000. It will be upgrading 63 tasers along with software training cartridges in the amount of 5 years. Any other discussion, gentlemen?
I move to approve this Montezuma County grant application for the Edward Bynum Memorial Justice Assistance Grant for $307,087.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to accept the grant application submission form for the JAG grant in the amount of $307,087 and no match required. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And real quick, Commissioner, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page, this is a sole source grant, so.
Right.
Because this is the only company that does this.
Yeah.
All right.
Specifically, it's the only company that hooks into our cameras. So I think that's important for everybody to understand that the cameras are connected with these tasers and this taser company. And so when those tasers are activated, my understanding is the cameras come on.
And I believe they were the X2 or 2X? X2? Yeah. Okay. We also had a presentation from our Natural Resource Director yesterday as it related to the comment period for the big game corridors, the Gunnison Sage Grouse, on the BLM Resource Management Plan. It is on the screen right now. Travis, it will also be displayed if you ever want to look at it publicly, of our comments to the BLM.
I move to sign this letter, reply letter to the Bureau of Land Management on the Gunnison Sage Grouse Resource Management Plan Amendment 1610 CO 930. Most of the comments from Montezuma County are social economic in nature due to the fact of all of our resources here, extraction resources, because a lot of this stuff would shut those down even worse than they are now, what the state of Colorado's done. So most of our comments are about that and the fact that it's so much a percentage of our tax base. And so most of our comments are in that nature, but this will be available for you to look at and see how we comment about it.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to sign the letter of submission for comments to the Bureau of Land Management as it pertains to the Gunnison Sage Grouse Resource Management Plan, RMPA 1610, CO 930. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we also had a presentation given to us by our grant writer yesterday for a letter of support for the Cortez Local Planning Capacity Grant. And that was basically for the city of Cortez. And I don't know if Rob's in here or around, but I don't know if he had anything else to that he wanted to add. Anything you want to add?
No. This is just a support letter for the city of Cortez for their planning grant.
Let me do it.
Go ahead. You've got it in
Okay.
front of you.
I move to sign this letter of support for the city of Cortez for their local planning capacity grant program through the Community Development Office, Division of DOLA.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign the letter of support for the city of Cortez for their application to DOLA's local planning capacity grant. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we also had our second presentation for the Heritage Museum letter of support. When it came in the first time, we had asked some questions of, was this mural going to be painted on the stucco exterior? It is not going to be. It's going to be put on aluminum composite panels and then attached to the building. Here, if you're interested, here are what's projected to be on those buildings, and it is there for your review also. Any further discussion?
No.
Okay.
I'm going to sign this letter of support for the Montezuma Heritage Museum's application to T-Mobile Hometown Grant in the amount of $50,000.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to sign this letter of support for the Heritage Museum to T-Mobile for the Hometown Grant Review Committee Award. in the amount of $50,000. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we also had our assessor come in, and we have a decision today based on the signing of the Value West contract. This is pretty much a contract that we sign every year. Ian, I'll let you go over this, since this is a contract and you review all of these prior to us signing.
Yeah, so this is a contract for consulting services for the assessor to do the property valuations in the county. This is a contract that our office drew up several years ago. We sign it pretty much every year. I don't have any legal issues with it. I don't know if you guys have any questions, but it's pretty straightforward.
Anything, Gerald?
It's fine. I mean, it's good. We need to have it.
I would so move we sign the agreement between Montezuma County and Value West Incorporated for professional services for the assessor's office.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to sign the agreement between Value West and the Montezuma County Assessor's Office for the valuations of property. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Jim. I should have done that when we done the Sage Rouse deal.
Okay.
It's for that big game.
Oh, gotcha,
Corridors.
two of them? Yeah,
Yeah.
you can do it now.
We discussed it yesterday, but we didn't.
All right, let me finish this.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to back up a little bit here. We also had another letter to submit for the big game corridors, other than just the Gunnison Sage Grouse. And again, our responses to the BLM. So with that, Commissioner, go ahead.
I move to sign this letter for Montezuma County to submit to the BLM Colorado State Office on the big game habitat conservation amendments, EIS. Mainly our comments are the same way as the opportunity for oil and gas management and stuff here in the county, because all of these things will affect how that will proceed in the future. So most of our comments were made about the mule deer population and their migration and how things have changed over the years. And when the numbers were the highest is when there was actually predator control in the whole area. Same way with the sage grouse. That's when their numbers were the highest. It's when we actually had some predator control, not putting more predators on top of them. So most of our comments are made in that nature as far as our socioeconomic situation here in this county. I move that we should sign this letter, send it to them.
I second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to sign the letter of comment and send to the BLM Colorado State Office as it pertains to the big game habitat conservation for oil and gas management. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, we also, as we had our assessor in here yesterday, we were also having conversation as it relates to the public safety sales tax. So we have two issues here. One is the rate. Again, we have not decided on a rate. We're still waiting for the assessor to get us back more numbers. We have discussed either a 1.2, a 1.4, or a 1.6. We're leaning towards the lower of the 1.4, but here again, we're going to wait to see what the numbers come back from the assessors and how things pan out through the legislative session as it progresses. So no decision will be made on that today. I think this was a discussion yesterday as far as the reduction of levies, and I think Ian brought it to our attention, is that and I will say this, and each one of us can say this, but we will pledge to lower the property mill levies, which we certify every year in January, which is what we can move every year as we certify mills. Once we see what this sales tax may or may not bring in. And I think that's a pledge that all three of us would make, so that the property owners are not paying not just the lion's share, but all of it right now, because right now our property owners are the ones that pay everything in Montezuma County. So there is no decision based on that today. Ian?
Spent a lot of time last week working on our response to the EEOC complaint that was filed by a former county employee alleging discrimination. That was due yesterday, and that was filed. That was done in conglomeration with the insurance company. I'll get you a copy of that filing today. But I think it came out very well. And thanks again to our insurance company's attorney, Sarah Cook, and then I worked on it as well. And so we did get that submitted, and that was really the lion's share of what I did last week.
Okay. Travis?
Lots of meetings last week, nothing spectacular, other than we're working on trying to develop some partnerships with our local governments, municipal governments, on areas that we can work together on and be partners in. There's solar panels are going up at the fairgrounds, so that's really good. And then there's the PSST, a lot of work on that. So.
Okay. All right, Commissioner Copenafer.
This past week, I was up in Denver for the Colorado Water Congress Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Lots of good discussion on different topics across the state and what's going on with some of the different water issues across the state, and heard from some of the legislatures as far as what they think's going to come forward as far as what our recommendations with the task force. There was some discussion about the task force and what we had come up with. All that stuff was pretty good as far as communication with other water leaders across the state. We also had a meeting with a couple of groups there that are bringing forth some of the projects to get some canals and lined and piped and stuff that's doing a lot of work across the whole western part of the United States through the infrastructure law. So hopefully we can get some more infrastructure stuff done to some of our systems around here and some upgrades to it, which will be good. And like Jim said a while ago, we're all making a pledge that if we can get this sales tax to pass, we're going to shift some of this tax burden from the property owners to that sales tax. We're not going to try to increase the revenue we have here in the county. We're just going to shift the burden from the property tax owner to that sales tax. I think that's the biggest message we need to get across to people, is that we're not going to try to increase our revenue. We're just going to try to shift the burden to this sales tax from you property tax owners that's been paying everything in this county for all these years. I think they're the ones that need some relief here. And hopefully with our pledge, we'll reduce the mills on the general, and then for whatever the excess that sales tax brings in.
Yeah, went out and did a little bit more exploring of numbers, and it relates to the sales tax. In the COVID years, Kinder Morgan's production went way down. Their maximum at one time was 1.3 billion cubic feet going down that pipe. And now we're right around 800 million. So that's a little over a 25% loss. But in the previous 2 years, it went as far as 600 million low. So that cut ours better than half, our income's better than half, and we're trying to recover from that. But right now, Kinder Morgan looks to be real stable at 800 million and doesn't look to increase for a while. And it bears from what Jim had talked about, that he had said that for quite a while, Kinder Morgan was in here drilling quite a few wells. And since I've been here, the 3 years I've been here recently, we haven't seen Kinder Morgan asking for a permit for anything. And so we're going to have to recoup those losses somewhere. We're like an aquarium. A fish grows to the size of the aquarium, and we grew to that size, and now we're suffering a little bit, trying to reduce and get back. And like Jim and Gerald have said, I also pledged to reduce that mill levy in accordance with what revenues we have, excess revenues that we have coming in from that sales tax. I know we can't legally do that, pledge and put it on a ballot initiative to say that we will do that, because it locks in further commissions. But that's where the importance of a ballot comes in. See who you're voting for, what their pledges are, and where they stand. So I really support this. I think this is one of the better things I've seen to actually reduce the burden on our property owners and use that sales tax. And sales taxes, a lot of times, are variable also. They rise and fall. You can look the city's track and see what they've done. And that's why we would like to adjust those mills, so when that adjustment, that float happens, we can correct that. And we don't want to grow our government. We're conservatives like the most of the people around here. We don't want to see a bigger government. So that's about all I have to say. I guess the bottom line is the old adage, trust us, we're here from the government. So.
All right. Moving on, I had our first meeting of our STAC on Thursday, State Transportation Advisory Committee. Basically heard from all of the commissioners around the state. Not a lot going on, obviously, because it's winter, other than in the I-70 corridor, they are doing a little bit of snow plowing and mitigation up there on those roads. But there wasn't a lot to add. I know that we at CCI have put together a priority bill as it pertains to the right-of-ways of CDOT and how we can utilize that fiber, hopefully without a reoccurring fee to CDOT, because that will make it basically unaffordable to any of the rural counties in southwest Colorado. There will be more coming on that. Had a NACO, a National Association of Counties Transportation meeting later on in the day. Again, everybody's getting ready to get out to NACO for the legislative conference, which that will be coming up next week. And that, other than our workshop, which we've discussed everything in there already on our agenda today. Well, I did want to highlight one thing. We did have a presentation yesterday that we didn't talk about from the Mancos Water Conservancy District. They do have a new executive director, Danny Margolis. Gretchen Rank has moved up and is now their managing director. So we did have a presentation yesterday about watershed stream management and kind of their funding sources for 2024 and how that moves forward. And that was all that we had on our workshop for yesterday, other than we've already discussed. So that is all I have. Kim?
Thank you for just a couple minutes. I just wanted to let everybody know that the logic and accuracy test is scheduled for Friday morning on the 8th at 9 a.m. in the clerk's office. The logic and accuracy test is where we take tested ballots and put them through the machine to verify that the machines are reading the ballots correctly and they're tabulating correctly. And the public is invited. So if you want to come see us, come join us at 9 a.m.
It's in your office?
In my office, yes,
Okay.
sir. Sorry. didn't think of that.
Pretty interesting process. If you've never seen it, I highly recommend it. And you can actually see what they have to go through to get the ballots in and counted. So again, the logic and accuracy training, thank you, Kim, I appreciate it.
So just to let everybody know, that is on the county website as well, if you wanted to look for that information. So it's on the county website, and it's posted on my Facebook page.
Thank you.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been moved and seconded to adjourn this February 6th, 2024 meeting. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.